This drama takes place in a fictional universe where everyone is happily gay, except for the main character who tries to resist the boys' love tropes around him. Show starts with Mob, a university student with an overacting imagination. He lives in a world where boys' love is very common. In class, he sees boys flirting with each other. In this world, boys talk about girls, but the topic immediately changes to sleeping with boys. But Mob is not like that. He's the only one immune to the BL syndrome. He thinks that he and his family are different from everyone else. At home, while Mob is watching TV, his younger brother comes to him and tells him that a boy proposed to him in school today. Mob tells him that this is a common misperception among puberty people in which they start considering friendship as a romantic feeling. After this, he makes a plan to research on BL. He watches some manga about boys' love on his computer. He realizes that the world is leaning towards BL. Even his brother has started getting proposals. So now he is the only one who will resist all this. He'll resist the world where guys are bound to fall for other guys. He buys reference manga books of BL for his research. While reading the book, he finds a sarcastically written word, meriba, which means merry bad ending, which is a joke in BL term. But he misunderstands its meaning, mainly involves double suicide. And he thinks that people die in BL. He immediately runs to find his younger brother to see if he has accepted BL. And when he sees his brother, he gets relieved that he is alive. Next day, he sees in the newspaper that despite so many people being in boys' love, why there is no news of any two persons dying. Next day in university, during lunch when he is having food, two boys are coming from behind. One of them was about to fall when another boy saves him from falling. Then the boy who saved him comes and sits next to Mob. And Mob explains in his imagination that how when someone loves boys, then he starts considering the other person skinny, defensive, and attractive, which is what the boy who saved him was thinking at that time. At night when Mob was taking shower, his younger brother comes there, who on seeing him starts calling him skinny. This trembles Mob, so he leaves. Next day, he sees that the boy who saved him had brought cooked meat for that boy, and he stole his heart through his stomach. Then Mob warns that he needs to be very careful in this world. In the next scene, we see Mob, who is thankful that he survived another day in this world of BL. While leaving from his class, his classmate asks him to come up in a drink party. First, Mob denies to him so that he'll be safe, but thinks if it shows him a loner, so he agrees. After the drinking party, one of the boys named Kaji get overdrunk and sleeps there, so Mob asks that classmate to take Kaji home because he had invited everyone and Mob doesn't want to get into boys' love with that drunk guys taking him home. Then Mob and other two boys leave. As his classmate was taking Kaji to drop him home, Kaji expresses desire to rest with him in hotel room. After an intense moment, that classmate also agrees to take a rest with him and they both went into the hotel room. After a few weeks, Mob is again invited to a drinking party to celebrate the end of exams. The members were the same as last time. Only a few things had changed, like Kaji and his classmates started dating each other. And the two other boys also started dating each other. But to look a little manly, they pretend that they are not dating each other, but they don't like dating girls anymore. But Mob knows that now they are all paired expect him, and he has no problem with it no matter how much he drinks or even if he has to stay there after his train misses. At night, Mob sleeps among them. The two of them start making love at night, and seeing this, Mob pretends to sleep. And the other two start in the morning in bed. The next day when Mob comes home, his younger brother Aato tells him that some of his friends are coming home today. Hearing this, Mob gets nervous because among his friends, the boy who proposed to Mob's younger brother in school will also come. When Aato brings his friends home, Mob seems quite nervous. After seeing the first two friends of little brother, he feels that they are also extras like him, who are still away from BL. Then a third friend comes in who had confessed his love to Aato. As soon as he comes in, Mob faces a different glow and some annoying roses in the background which annoys Mob. When Aato is preparing drinks in the kitchen for his friends, one of his friends comes to help him. Mob notices that they are in a love triangle, which means this friend loves Aato from within. Then when Aato is playing a game with his friends, Mob notices that the fourth friend is attracted to the third friend, which means it is a love quadruple. Now Aato is completely immersed into the world of BL. Then Ayato's friend sees Mob outside. Then he calls Mob inside and asks him to play a game with him. At first, Mob thinks that he is dragged into the mess but ends up enjoying the game with him. In the next scene, we see Mob taking a sauna, but apparently he stepped into the wrong place. Coincidentally, there he meets one of his friends, Misaki, who takes him to her matchmaking party. Mob goes to the party so that he can make a girlfriend there because once he gets a girlfriend, then he will automatically be free from BL relationship. But after a while, a handsome boy comes there and all the girls get impressed by him. Mob thinks that after all this is BL world and such a handsome boy will be paired with some boy. so it will not be that difficult for Mob to get a girlfriend. Mob goes to a drinking bar to get juice when a boy comes there who tries to seduce Mob and is about to ask him out when Mob gets nervous and starts saying loudly that he is having the blast in the party, so he does not want to go anywhere. After 10 minutes, that handsome boy and Mob's friend Kisaki both go out together as they have chosen each other their date. Now Mob is left alone in the party with the girls, but no girl shows interest in him. The next day, Mob was sitting in the canteen and reading the latest BL manga for his research when one of his classmates comes from behind and sees him and mistakes him for a rotten boy. Rotten boys means BL guys who read BL manga. So Mob tells him that he was reading it because his co-worker likes it and he was scrolling it to impress her. And in return, he asks the guy if he knows about this manga, on which the guy gets embarrassed and leaves from there. Mob was unaware that this guy is the artist of the BL manga he was reading. The manga artist thinks that he will get many stories for his manga around Mob, so the next day he follows him, and it happens that he gets a story for his next BL manga. One night when Mob was returning home, he sees a man lying on the ground. Normal human would have helped him in this situation and would have taken that boy to his home, but Mob does not do so and leaves him there in someone else's care and starts going from there so that he cannot get caught in BL in any way. Then Aato comes from behind to save that boy and questions Mob that why he did not help that man. Then Aato calls the police and informs them, on which Mob also thinks that he could have taken all these steps earlier. After this, both of them were going home when Mob asks Aato about his friend who had proposed him. It leaves Aato blushing. Aato tells him about yesterday's incident. When he was coming after finishing the class, Tojo, the friend who had proposed him, also starts coming with him. Then a girl asks him for next Sunday, but he refuses and lies by looking into the girl's eyes that he and Aato have some other plan on the same day, so he cannot come. Aato knows that whenever Tojo lies, he looks into the other person's eyes. On the way, Aato stops him and talks about the previous incident when he proposed to her. So Tojo looks into Ayato's eyes and says that it was a joke. That is, he was lying by looking into the eyes. After which Mob starts overacting and drama. The next day when Aato goes to school, he sees that Tojo is taking interest in that girl and is spending time with her. After class, Aato asks Tojo to go with him to the CD shop, but Tojo refuses and leaves with the same girl, seeing which Aato seems very upset. And even after going home, he keeps thinking about her. Then the next day when Aato drinks water from Tojo's bottle, Tojo hugs him and both confess their love, and Aato ends up surrendering himself to the world of BL. The next day when Mob is in his class, he tells that Valentine's week is coming, but in this BL world all the boys date each other secretly, so no one will be seen exchanging chocolates. Then he finds a chocolate in his bag. At first he doesn't understand how to react in this situation, so he leaves from there without giving any reaction, pretending as if he didn't notice the chocolate. As he leaves, someone watches him from far. 2 weeks later, when Mob was taking class, the boy who had chocolates in his bag sits next to him and asks for his notes. Mob lies to him that he didn't bring notes and exchanges seats with his other friend Miyoshi. Just then Milio's boyfriend, who was not from their college, arrives there. He takes Miyoshi from there and they end up hugging each other. Next day, Mob sits in a bar and drinks and thinks that he's trying his best to avoid the BL situation. After drinking too much, Mob comes out of the bar and falls. Next morning when he opens his eyes, he becomes very happy because he was at his home. At first he thinks that even after drinking so much he didn't fall and reached home safely. But then he remembers the visuals of the night, how someone carried him on his back and dropped him at his home. But he only remembered the smell of his back and scent. The next day while going to college, he tries to smell everyone and comments in his imagination that he is searching for that boy so that he can thank him for last night and not for getting into a BL situation with him. Then, while doing Xerox, the boy with citrus scent helps him and Mob finds out that it is Kikuchi, the same boy who had put chocolate in his bag. Mob thanks him for last night, on which Kikuchi tells that he also helped him in Xerox a month ago when he was going through a bad mental state. Kikuchi starts praising Mob that how good a person he is. Mob understands that now he is in trouble because Kikuchi is interested in him. Then Kikuchi tells him that there is nothing to worry because he knows that Mob is not interested in him. He just wants that Mob should talk to him once in a while. While coming from there, Mob is thinking that he will never fall in love with a guy. But he was also thinking about Kikuchi again and again. He goes home and eats the chocolates given by Kikuchi, and he is filled with love. He runs up to Kikuchi and invites her for drinks after work, even though her commentary stops him from doing so. But he finds Kikuchi cute and finally confesses to her that he likes her. And here Mob also falls in love with a boy, and the manga artist standing far away watching them also gets the story for his next manga. The show ends here.